Leo, this is your June 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. It's Romy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and joining me for the conversation. We are opening up this month with the energy of the Fool. And there is something quite playful and incredibly passionate about the next few weeks for you, Leo. I think you will be inspired by new people, new approaches to things, and something is truly going to become ignited. I see some incredible conversations taking place and the desire within you to just explore something completely different for yourself. Now, I will say that you are going to be creating alchemy in your relationships, and it's worth noting Venus is shifting into your sign on the 5th of the month, but we have to know, word to the wise, that Venus is going to be retrograde in your sign from July the 22nd right through to the 3rd of September, which means we're going to have shadow from the 19th of June. So you are going to be learning so much about yourself in love and in relation to your prosperity consciousness. And what gets highlighted between the 5th and the 19th is certainly set to be revisited over the coming weeks as we move deeper into that retrograde season. And you might find yourself in the beginning part of June wanting to make some really big gestures, perhaps wanting to invest in something significant, wanting to make your mark by way of something going on in an important relationship. But that retrograde season, of course, has a tendency at times to burst our bubble a little bit. And we just want to make sure that we're not going to have any regret. So anything that comes up in these areas of your life, we really want you to think through carefully what you are committing to. Because Saturn is also going to be shifting retrograde this month on the 17th. And here we will be revisiting commitments, we will be reviewing boundaries, and that hanged man could end up leaving you feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit unclear about how to progress something after such a momentous start, okay? That said, I also feel when I'm looking at the two opening energy guides here for you this month, there's something really sort of divinely unfolding, and I want you to trust in the timing. It's going to bring a tremendous amount of peace to your path if you can appreciate that you do need to find an alternative approach to something, and that as you allow some of the course corrects that are going to come in through the course of June, you're going to find yourself feeling far more satisfied as to what the possibilities and the options are on the table. And it might not seem that way initially, and you might feel like something is kind of in limbo, so to speak, for part of this month. But you know, you get wiser, you get tougher, you get softer, you get kinder, and you get more leveled as you experience life. And this entitles you to know what's best for you, Leo. And this month, in 11th house energy of Gemini season, your hopes, your dreams, and your desires are all under the spotlight. That means that you have to allow yourself to want what you want and to notice if you're censoring it, because there's something about this desire to want to embark on a new beginning, a brand new path, explore something unconventional, something different, and then feeling held back. And I'm wondering if that feeling of being held back isn't even necessarily from external events, but you yourself getting in your own way, or some sense of sabotage or uncertainty as to the viability or whether you have what it takes or how it can possibly work. And so you kind of end up talking yourself in and out of things. We open up the month with Venus in Cancer trining Neptune in Pisces, and there's a real healing energy to this, and that's supportive as we approach the full moon in Sagittarius on the 3rd and the 4th. It will be trining Mars. Of course, Mars is in your sign right now, Leo, and this is fire energy. And so the new horizons that get sparked here are exciting and playful in that 5th house for you. There's an encouragement to focus on one thing and to take it all the way around this full moon. So whatever it is that you are looking to see come to fruition, or you are wanting to clear space in your life for something new, or you're letting go of something, The Queen of Fire here, you know, she's holding that single flame and she's just saying, what is the priority? What matters? And of course, you will be reevaluating your whole relationship to pleasure, especially around that full moon, and really looking at relationships in your life, the, you know, way that you spend your time, your energy, the pastimes that are, you know, important to you, and really figuring out like a new way to balance things. And, you know, June gives you that sense of confidence to be able to take that on. There's a rich kind of creative energy around that full moon for you as well, especially as Venus shifts into your sign like the following day. So I want you to harness whatever comes up, even if the timing isn't quite right, to be able to initiate something. I think that the downloads that come in, and perhaps for some of you, something that you have been working on, you're given like a different way of seeing something that can make it even better. So I see this beautiful opportunity to make improvements to something that's already good, that's already working, but you know, you get to make something good great. And I think that that kind of sets up a level of confidence for you as you move through the remainder of June and into July, especially if there are some wobbles that end up coming through as a result of this Venus retrograde that is looming in your sign. Now Mercury will shift into Gemini on the 11th, and you know, Leo and Gemini is a harmonious combination. We've got air and fire, so again something gets ignited, and you know, Mercury is Gemini's natural ruler. In your 11th house, I think that there's going to be some sort of overhaul going on in the way that you're using technology. You might migrate, you might choose to switch a platform, or just reimagine like the best way to kind of utilize something in your work or in your personal life. There might be some moments where you wonder why you started, but I do think that this will be worth it, and I think it's going to make it easier for you to do the things that are important to you, to express yourself, to share things, however that needs to work for you. Now we've got the Nine of Water, Nine of Cups coming through, which is really beautiful. She's actually holding a key here, and it's almost like you yourself know what it is that's going to unlock the stagnancy or whatever it is that might have then been holding you back, because I think you're in this ongoing quest really for doing this deeper soul work within yourself. And you know, this is where we really remind ourselves about the way in which we use language to describe what's going on for us. Yeah, so as you come to a moment, because June really talks about this still point. Yeah, we're going to be welcoming Solstice, of course, but we can feel like it's a standstill. And so even in those two phrases, like, you can feel the difference in vibration. And you know, often if we can look at it from a sort of polarity perspective, like if you're experiencing an emotion that feels more negative or lower vibration, you know, whether that be guilt or anger, frustration or pain, and we look directly to the polar opposite of what that theme, what that energy is about, we understand that also exists within us. And this is what Gemini teaches us so beautifully, yeah, this idea of duality. And so the law of one really helps us to understand that we can collapse this, you know, as we identify and, you know, take the time to do this, whatever it is you're experiencing through the month, like write lists of these words and then find the exact opposite of them. And see how that immediately shifts your energy, and then give that up to spirit, give that to creator, and allow them to help bring you back into balance. Let your guides support you as you clear this use of thought forms and old soul stories that are not serving you anymore. And I think you're going to make a huge breakthrough, because this alchemy by way of your relationships is beginning with yourself. And as you learn about yourself in love and money, what you're going to realize is it's mainly the stories you've told yourself or the thoughts that you think because of the past that you've gone through. And so as we start to kind of look to those opposite energies, there's something quite magical that takes place. So keep that in mind as you move through this month. The Nine of Cups, of course, says something that you've been wanting, wishing, waiting for is on its way. And I think that what you're seeing, nice, Nine of Pentacles coming through, is the tangible manifestation of something. Now, I want to kind of put a footnote here, because what I want to say is like these nines for me, we have to recognize why we are where we are. And that includes like the celebration and the accomplishment and, you know, what we've done to achieve this level of shift in our energy and change in our life. And as we're able to do that, then we're able to receive whatever shows up, because how often can we really want something and then it arrives and then we feel a bit ambivalent about it. And so there's a sort of rewiring going on about recognizing at each stage of the process. Now these nines are really beautiful because they tell me that we need to persevere, that we're almost there, and that the beginnings of something, you know, truly wonderful is coming through for you in the month of June. But if you're not careful, you end up pushing it away or not truly realizing or recognizing its value, or the value that is held in everything that you've put in to get to this point. And you can end up becoming overly critical and not giving yourself the due credit, okay? So as we approach the new moon in Gemini that's going to come in on the 17th, and that's the same day that Saturn goes retrograde, right? So this new moon is wanting new intentions to be set, especially around our ideas, our creativity, our use of language, and some of the plans that we're putting in place. Now Saturn is going to want to ensure that we're doing things in the right way, and it's going to perhaps stop us in our track a little bit. So we will feel the almost slight conflict. It's like a hot air balloon that wants to like take off and it's still tethered to the ground a little bit. So I think that new moon could bring about a little bit of anxiousness as you're like keen to get going, to get moving. And yet, you know, the disruption of Saturn at that time is just going, okay, slow down, hold up. We just want to make sure that everything that we're putting in place now is really going to support that longer term vision that you have for yourself. So make sure that your intention and attention towards what matters at that moment, and, you know, especially 11th house, it will be your hopes and dreams. There might be a lot going on for you this month in terms of friendships and people that you work with and how you're interacting in and around the community. This is all being sparked in that 11th house. And remember what I said, some incredible conversations taking place. And I think that could be really highlighted around that new moon. But you might feel like you're being thwarted. It's kind of like, I've got this amazing opportunity, everybody's on board, but there's just this one thing that won't fall into place. Don't fight the timelines. In fact, my soul journeys this month are around releasing resistance on timelines and also supporting you in making major life changes. When we can get to a place of timelessness, it really opens us up to a deeper sense of peace and love and balance. You know, our soul experiences time in upward spirals of learning. It's our ego self that wants this linear movement of left to right. And so, you know, again, I think your relationship around sort of timelines, expectations is going to be tested somewhat through the course of June. But you'll also be learning a lot about yourself and really supporting the continuing ascension and evolution at a soul level that you're going through. We have a notable date on the 19th because Jupiter will sextile to Saturn. And here we have the strength to overcome adversity against the odds, regardless of the mountain that's placed in front of you. And 8 of Fire tells me that it's also through communication. Yeah, and it's through what has already been initiated, the momentum that you've built in and around a situation that will be the thing that carries you through. Now, you have some really strong energetic guides like working to support you this month. And as we then come into Cancer season, which of course is that 12th house of healing and really kind of taking stock, allowing yourself to, take a step back in a way. Solstice comes in on the 21st as the sun shifts into Cancer. We have the asteroid goddess Ceres moving into Libra, and Mercury sextile to Mars, of course, in your sign. This is a beautiful lineup for Solstice. And again, I feel like where you are is in this place of, as I look at the kind of figure on top of the panda, it almost feels like a kind of slightly unorthodox, unconventional situation you might find yourself in around solstice energy. And yet there's something deeply moving and really important and symbolic about what's happening and how it's unfolding in that specific way. I think you are being given an opportunity as you review it and almost become like a neutral witness to be able to let something go on quite a deep level. And I do think that this month is quite significant in that way for all of us, but you know, certainly for you as you prepare to sort of move through this deeper review around your relationship, especially connected to how you value yourself and how that shaped the decisions and choices in your life, Leo. So we are going to pull a final 3 cards. If you are new to the channel, we cover these in the extended version of this reading, which I talk for another 25-30 minutes or so and go much deeper into the messages that want to come through for you. We also look at a personal question that might not have come up in the main reading. I'm going to go ahead now and just clarify the main spread for us and see which direction we might be taking this. Beginning with a Fool, we have the Knight of Cups. I think this month you need to be super careful around comparison. I feel like as inspired and as ignited as you feel in different areas, you might also be coming across people that also kind of have you falling into that trap a little bit. And again, that can sort of stunt your own imagination, your own ideas, your own uniqueness. So keep an eye out for this. You've got some beautiful cards coming in here, though. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Fool. Like, there's so much of this, like having a blank sheet of paper and just being able to kind of start to rewrite some things for yourself. You know, it's a beautiful time to start to revisit as we welcome more of the planets shifting into retrograde. Now, Neptune will go retrograde on the 30th of the month. And here, you know, we do take the rose-tinted glasses off, you know, and we start to see things for the true nature that they are. And, you know, sometimes that can bring up some fear or uncertainty about perhaps where we have been investing our time or energy. But at the same time, I think that dose of realism is super important because it'll just get you on track and focus your mind to where you need to be and probably support some healing through the process as well. Lots of 9s coming through for you this month. 6 of Wands, I like that. All the decks that I use are listed in the comment and description box underneath, Leo. And you'll also see my own Oracle deck, Life Soul Vision, and my book, Moon Musings, featured here. So please do check them out if you enjoy my work. All the links for that are in the description box beneath. Okay, so this is Life Soul Vision, my Oracle. Let's have a look here how it wants to clarify for us. Third Eye Energy, Awakened Vision. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadow, beautiful dragon energy. New Moon. We've got the Spirit Owl coming through, Sacred Secrets. Spirit Stag, Heavenly Timing. There's that nod to timing that we talked about. Equinox, beautiful. Okay, and let's have a look at the Enchanted Map Oracle. Okay, you have goblins. And finally, I'm just going to pull an astrology card for this month, Leo. Beautiful, we have your card. I love that. Okay, if you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, I wish you a beautiful month ahead. I will see you again next time. You take good care.